Hello, my name's Roisin and I'm sick of reading. If you watched part 1 of my Reading the Mirror and the Light reading vlog, you may notice that I am in exactly the same position. Yes, it is me of the intro and the outro to that vlog, back again to introduce you to this one. So this is part 2 of the reading vlog, when things start to really heat up in Thomas Cromwell's world. The suspense was really intense in this half because I know what's going to happen because I studied Tudor history at school, but Thomas Cromwell doesn't know what is going to happen. Hilary Mantel really is the queen of dramatic irony, and now I've given you some dramatic irony because you'll know what I'm going to do before I do it. In this vlog, I will finish reading The Mirror and the Light. I will bake some carrot cake, which me of the present is very thankful I did. I will go on some more lovely walks, and I will just chat to you guys. It's going to be quite a chill one, so hopefully that's what you wanted to see. And without further ado, on into the reading. Hello, it is Monday now, so currently I've just started part 3. I'm in chapter 2 of part 3, 437 pages in, which means that I have 450 pages left to go, so I'm basically halfway. Yeah, no, this is exactly halfway. So I'm going to try and finish this as quickly as possible, but we'll see how I do. Because I kind of want to put it in my March reading wrap-up rather than my April reading wrap-up, because that will have been so long after I started reading it. So, can I do it in 2 days? When it is already 6 o'clock this evening? So I have a day and a half, less than a half, day and a quarter to read it. And it's taken me a week to read the first half. We'll see. Got a bit of Tudor bedroom ASMR room going on for listening to, for reading The Mirror and the Light. It is Tuesday morning, it's 8:30, and I didn't read very much yesterday. Shock. I'm trying to get through this book and I'm not having a great ease at doing it. Things keep getting in the way. Maybe I'm just struggling to read at this time, to focus that consistently. I'm also having trouble with my vlog. My clips were not uploading to Drive because my camera broke. I'm filming on my phone at the moment, and I'm uploading them from my phone to the Drive and then from Drive down onto my iPad. But for some reason it wouldn't upload all of the clips, and then it stopped wanting to upload at all, and it was all very confusing. I think I've got it sorted now, but it's just slow going, so I need to edit that today. I was hoping to have edited it like roughly yesterday. That didn't happen. So I've got to do that today, but then I can focus on reading. Does anyone else get this? I'm not entirely sure why it is, but I am completely covered in hives. It keeps happening at the moment. I just randomly get hives and there's like no trigger or anything. I'm just covered in hives a lot of the time, and it kind of started at the same time as I started having digestive trouble and like trouble swallowing and feeling like stuff was stuck in my chest. And I don't know what it is. My doctors never seem to know what it is, and I'm just sore and itchy. Going on a walk, and we found a badger set. They're asleep in there. What? Oh yeah, and over there, that's where they go and scratch. That's the main entrance. Hello, it is Wednesday now. It's clearly nighttime. I have not been good at vlogging. I have not been good at reading either. Got barely any further. But that is not why I'm here. I will get back to vlogging this, and I hope to have this finished by the end of the week. I think I've been kind of a bit ambitious with how long I think things are going to take me, because I just seem to want to fanny about at the minute. It's hard for me to focus on anything longer than a TikTok. Yes, I got TikTok. I didn't think I would ever get TikTok. In fact, I have downloaded TikTok twice in the past, and I've deleted it both times because I was like, I don't get it. Now, I have so much time. I don't find much of it that funny though. I think it's just not really my sense of humour. But anyway, what was it? That wasn't why I turned on the camera. I didn't turn on the camera to talk about my reading, and I didn't turn on the camera to talk about TikTok. I turned on the camera because I don't know if I filmed this before. So it's Wednesday, which means it is medicine day for me. If you don't know, I have psoriatic arthritis and psoriasis, and so I take a immunosuppressant. It's a TNF inhibitor, which blocks a certain type of protein, which tells your immune system that it needs to attack stuff. And when you have an autoimmune condition, that kind of receptor is too active. So it kind of stops that from happening. So I have to do this. And if you are afraid of needles, go to this point. Just skip. You don't actually see me injecting myself, so if you're not properly afraid, you can't see a needle the whole time. But if the idea of it freaks you out, just skip. So I inject myself with this boy. And you have to wait. There it is. Look at that. You have to wait until you can see the bubble moving, because I keep it in the fridge and it's not warm enough until you can see the bubble. So I'm gonna have to check for a lava lamp. And if that bubble is moving, then it is time to inject. So I thought I'd film that for you. So I can inject this. You have to inject this into the fat. It's a subcutaneous injection, so it has to be in the fat. If it's in the muscle, it hurts. So you can inject it anywhere that you find a chubby spot in your body. They said to do either your stomach or your legs, because that's kind of handy and you don't have to move your arm in a weird position and you won't like slip or hurt yourself. I find it easier to inject in my legs, like mentally easier to inject in my legs, but it hurts. It always hurts when I inject my legs, so I tend to inject in my stomach, but it always takes me like 30 seconds of like egging myself up, because it's quite hard to like stab yourself in the stomach. It's like there's some sort of mental block about that. The first time I did it when the nurse was here, I was like, oh yeah, that's easy. And then the next time, my boyfriend had to stand around the corner holding my hand for 10 minutes because he's afraid of needles, so he couldn't come in, and he just had to like hide around the corner. I'm gonna stab myself in the stomach now. So it has to be at right angles to your body. Gosh, this always takes me a minute. I like press it in and then I'm like, no, I can't press it the whole way, but I gotta do it. I have been doing this since January and I still can't just do it. Oh, there you go, managed it that time. And then you just have to wait till the next click. There we go, nice squelch and a click. And then we're done. Oh, I didn't bleed today. All done. Hello, it is Thursday morning and I'm actually talking to you from the morning this time. And today I am editing video and then I'm going to mostly be reading, which is good because I've got a lot of reading to get through. I've also written a poem this morning. April is Poetry Month and Savannah Brown runs this thing called Escapril where people write, she writes some prompts and people write a poem every day for the month of April based on those prompts. So I'm doing that currently. My poetry Instagram is always in my description. So if you want to go check out some of the poems I've been written, some of the poems I've been writing, they will be down there. Oh gosh, I have been doing a lot more like exercise than normal because I haven't been, my job is on my feet most of the day. And now that I don't have that, I feel like I need to expend some energy in another way. So I've been doing a lot more exercise than before because it definitely helps me mentally, like keep me at an even keel and not feel too fractious and bunched up from being inside all the time. But today I am feeling so sick, like my stomach is just, and so I'm not really feeling, I'm also feeling really tired, like even holding this phone up is really tiring my arm, which doesn't usually happen. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time in bed reading a book, and hopefully by this evening I will feel well enough to do some exercise. But we'll have to wait and see. We are going for a little drive now. We're allowed to drive as long as we don't stop and get out. Like obviously you're allowed to drive for essential things, but for non-essential things you're allowed to go for a drive as long as you don't stop and get out anywhere. And we need to make sure the battery in the car doesn't die whilst it's not being used. So we're going for a little drive. out and editing. You know the ASMR rooms that they have on YouTube? I think the Harry Potter ones were the first, or are the most popular at least. I have found a Tudor ASMR room that I'm using to read Bring Up the Bodies. I will link it down below if you fancy listening to some Tudor ambience. This bit about childbirth is so powerful. Whereas we bless an old soldier and give him alms, pitying his blind or limbless state, we do not make heroes of women mangled in the struggle to give birth. If she seems so injured that she can have no more children, we commiserate with her husband. That's obviously about Tudor birth, but reading Pride and Prejudice last month and hearing all about vaginal mesh and the husband stitch kind of doesn't feel like much has changed. Reading about Edward VI, who's just been born, and there's a plague in the country while he's been born, so they're all delivery men can't stay once they've dropped off their loads, and strangers are barred, and you're not allowed to see too many people. It's just very current. Hello, so it is Saturday. I have got about 350 pages left of The Mirror and the Light, so that's about 3.5 hours of reading over today and tomorrow, which is perfectly doable. So the only things I have to do today apart from that are I need to edit and upload a video. I've started the editing already, but I need to finish that and upload it. Then I need to write a poem, 2 poems hopefully, but definitely 1, because I've been uploading a poem every day on my poetry Instagram, which is @Rasheen Spilled Ink. It's linked in the description. And I also want to make a carrot cake. I was really sick yesterday and I'm feeling better today, but still not 100%. I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm dealing with some inflamed esophagus, and so it's making things a bit tricky, but I think I can manage it. It's so lovely and sunny today. I don't even need my denim jacket, I'm so warm. It's nice to go on a walk. I'm feeling quite tired, so this is a bit difficult, but it's good to be outside, definitely. It is 6:30. I'm finally going to actually start reading this book. I'm not making a cake today. Going to make that tomorrow now. I don't know what it is. I just keep putting off the reading until later and later. But I'm going to read this now. Then I'm going to do some yoga. Then I'm going to read more. That's the rest of my evening plan. I might write another poem as well. We'll see what happens. Got my Tudor ambience on. Also got the ambience of the children next door playing outside. I've just come out of the bath, so that's why my hair is like this, but I found that we had a little bit of strong bread flour left and a lot of yeast and no actual loaves of bread, so I decided I'm going to put the bread maker on so that it'll start in the morning, and then when we wake up in the morning we will have freshly made bread. Fingers crossed, hopefully. Mostly brown flour, but I didn't have quite enough, but I had a little bit of white flour left, and then I'm going to add some seeds as well, because we like seedy bread, so hopefully this will be alright. Doesn't say anything about it in the manual. Right, I've set that up. I've never done the self-timer before, so it starts at a certain time, so fingers crossed that works and it doesn't burn down the house. Just going to do some calming, hang on, that's loud. Just about to do some calming evening yoga.
This will in turn give you the energy.
Freshly baked bread, put straw in it so it doesn't go stale. It's a bit of a funny shape, but it tasted pretty good, so that's good. We're out on another walk. We're doing the walk we did the other day across the fields, but we're doing it backwards this time. I don't really want to film all of my walks because they're exactly the same most of the time, but this is a beautiful sunny day, so it's quite nice to be out in it. I'm back in the spare room bed where I always am. We went for a walk today and it was really good, but all of the shoes that I own are destroying my feet currently. Like, I have one pair of boots that I've had for 2 years that have no insoles, so those kind of hurt the balls of my feet. And then I have one pair of boots that I had for this winter and I wore basically every day for 6 months, and it's really worn through. They need resoling. And then I've got my Converse, which just seem to rub on my little toes and on the back of my heel. So that none of them are very good for walks. So I've just bought myself a new pair of walking boots, which is exciting. I've never actually owned walking boots before, so hopefully these will fit and be good, because obviously I had to buy them online because we can't go into all the shops are closed. So I bought that, and I bought a sports bra, and I bought some leggings. So that's ace. I'm really tired, so I'm just watching some YouTubes now, and then I'm gonna read my book for a while. I've just looked it up and it looks like I've got just under 4 hours of this left, which, considering it's like 2 o'clock, that is doable today. But I also need to write poems and put a wash on and maybe make some carrot cake. So if I'm going to make carrot cake, I might have to suck it up and deal with the new narrator for Bring Up the Body so I can listen to it whilst I do that. Listening to the audiobook of The Mirror and the Light while I did it. So it's in the oven now, probably for about 45 minutes. I'll check on it after 40 and see how it's doing. And yeah, then that will be ready to go to ice and set up to be nice. Should be good. One of the things that I'm really loving about The Mirror and the Light is how suspenseful it feels, and how, like, on the edge of my seat I'm getting the further and further into the book we go. Even though I know the outcome, I guess it's just the fact that that's how she's playing with it. Everyone knows the outcome. We know that Thomas Cromwell will be beheaded, that Henry won't like Anne of Cleves, and that Stephen Gardiner and Norfolk are like gonna scheme against him. But when he says things like, "Oh, I'll sort that Stephen Gardiner out," and it's like, well, no, actually, he'll sort you out. And then when Anne of Cleves, she's slowly getting towards Henry, and he's so excited, and Thomas Cromwell's feeling like in a good place, and you just know what's going to happen, and you know it's going to change, and it's just so tense. I've got about 150 pages left of the book, so that's like 2 hours reading, 2.5 hours reading. So I think I can get it finished today. But yeah, I really am impressed by the way that she's managed to get that tension into a book where you know what's going to happen if you know anything about Tudor history. So I filmed an intro and an outro to this vlog yesterday, and then I realised that I didn't review the book in the outro, which, what's the point of a reading vlog if I'm not going to tell you what I thought about the book? So I also didn't show you my cake and what it looked like when it was like iced and finished. So this is the last slice. It's delicious. But more importantly, what did I think of the book? Now, this is going to come as no surprise to anyone. I give it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it, and I think other books are going to have to work really hard if anyone else is going to win the Man Booker. The Thomas Cromwell trilogy is my favourite trilogy of all time, and I think that this one is actually the best of the 3. It is 875 pages long, and nothing is wasted in it. All of that is essential and really necessary. And when I was halfway through the book, I was like, Jane Seymour's still alive. We've got so much more to go. What's happening? Why is it taking so long to get there? But Hilary Mantel builds the tension so well that it gets faster and faster as you get closer, and she manages to make the inevitable. Like, if you know anything about Tudor history, you know that Henry VIII is going to kill Thomas Cromwell. She's using that dramatic irony to such a clever extent. There's lots of little asides and things said by like Stephen Gardner, who's one of the people who plots to overthrow Cromwell, and all these things where Cromwell is getting too big for his boots, or saying things that you know he shouldn't say. Like at one point he mentions taking up arms against the king. Obviously it's sort of convoluted and it comes across the wrong way, but you can see how it can be twisted, because you also watch him throughout all three of these novels twist things and change things in order to get rid of people that the king no longer wants. And she just lays all these little bits of story out for you, so that when they all come back around and come back together, it links up so neatly. It just feels like from the second half of the book you are like holding your breath, because you know what's going to happen, but Thomas Cromwell doesn't know what's going to happen, and it's just so masterfully done. I highly recommend it. I love the way she plays with ghosts and ghost stories. Cromwell's always talking to ghosts, and at the end when he's about to die, all of the ghosts like come back and he's talking to everyone who he ever led to the death, or the Archbishop who he was the man of. He talks to him a lot, and he talked to him through the first two books, but then he finds out something that makes him stop the ghost stop appearing, no matter how much he wills him to. You're very much inside one man's mind, which can be difficult, can be a tricky way to tell a story. But I love the way that she plays with memory, and how it is like thoughts, in that he'll be thinking about something that happened, and then someone will come and interrupt him with something present, and then that will happen, and then we'll go back to the memory, because they'll go back to what he was thinking about. Altogether, it's so masterfully done, and the language is exactly perfect to get you into that mind frame of the time and the twisting nature, the intrigue, and it's just, she makes you like Thomas Cromwell, which when we learn history, he's like one of the big villains, but he's so clever, but you can see how he gets above himself as well, and where his flaws are, and especially where his flaws are in relation to Henry. Altogether, it's such a good book, and I definitely highly recommend it if you haven't read it. So that is my conclusion, finally, to my Reading the Mirror and the Light vlog. Let me know if you've read it, or if you plan to read it all fall. If you read it on my recommendation, let me know, because I will be really happy if that's true. Let me know what you've been reading while you're in isolation, because I've got nothing but time, so recommendations would be great. And let me know what you'd like me to film. I think I mentioned before that I'm planning to do some more like vloggy filming. I think I might make most of my videos kind of in a vloggy style at the moment, because I quite enjoy it, and I think that it makes things a bit more like chilled and relaxed than doing like a sit down video where I talk to the camera. It's what I prefer to watch, and I think it's what most people prefer to watch anyway, so things might change a little bit around here, but if there's anything specific that you'd like me to do, it'd be great to hear that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again the day after tomorrow. Bye bye.